What's up, Magic fans? I'm Mikey, and welcome to Penny for Your Thoughts. We've got another cracking show lined up for you this week with our guest, Dan, who we're going to come on to in just a minute. But boys, Geraint, Paul, how are we? G?
Right, very well, thank you, mate. Yeah. Can't complain.
Before we carry on, you've got to tell everyone this story of your builder situation that you told me about this afternoon.
Man. So we're getting a new conservatory put in, and they said, we'll rock up next week. This was week before last. A couple of days go past, they didn't turn up because weather and whatnot. They turn up. First guy gets, there's three of them. First guy gets out of the car. He's wearing a Swansea City tracksuit top, and I'm like, oh Jesus. Being a Cardiff fan, of course, and thinking, oh gosh, okay. Second one comes out. He's wearing a Liverpool beanie. And as everyone might know, I'm not a big fan of Liverpool Football Club. The third one turns up wearing a Miami Heat beanie as well. So I thought, I'm not even going to tell him I'm a Cardiff Magic fan. So, I just don't want them to ruin the job. So,
You sure the company's not been trolling your Twitter account, mate?
Yeah, I know. Probably have, mate.
That's not a good combo. You check all the bills when they come through, mate. You're probably going to get charged double.
Yeah.
You couldn't have made it up, though, could you?
Oh, no, you couldn't.
Gee, what's the national flower of Wales?
Oh, that would be a daffodil.
Daffodil.
Friend.
And the person that needs to be careful with daffodils this time of year is Mr. Bacon, who's also been stabbed today. Feeling all right, mate, after your vaccine?
Yes, I did check that there was no daffodil sap included in the AstraZeneca vaccine. For those that aren't aware, as a former police officer of 30 years, big roughy tufty bloke, I am allergic to daffodil sap. Floors me. So, if ever you're doing anything and want to get away from me, just wave a bunch of daffodils. Get back. Whoa, no need.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, mate, no problem at all.
We'll bring the ice up on another episode, Paul. All right.
Oh, mate, you don't want them. You don't need those stories.
And we're also joined by our friend, one of our followers, Dan Sheppard, who's one of our UK Magic followers. Dan, hey. How are you, mate?
Yeah, very well, thank you. You all good, guys? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for inviting me.
Well, for those who don't know who Dan is, you actually helped us create our Magic UK logos. So we haven't actually had a chance to thank you. So thank you for doing that.
No problem, my pleasure.
We've texted each other for ages. Yeah, it was only
it feels like a long time, doesn't it? To be fair,
it certainly was. So we hadn't had the chance to thank you for that. Happy birthday for the other day. You just turned 40, and if anybody hadn't seen, go on Dan's Twitter feed. What's your handle, Dan?
Was it 3D Dan 46?
Yeah, and your wife made you a 40th birthday cake, mate. That was quality.
Yeah. She did get it made by. She's not going to take claim to it, to be fair, but she got it ordered and made for me. But yeah, the cake was awesome, absolutely brilliant. Didn't expect that at all.
The detailing on stuff was incredible.
I've kept stuff, to be fair, in the kitchen on the side. He's pride of place.
I've still got to know, what flavour was it, by the way, the cake?
It was chocolate in the middle.
Oh, good man.
It's a good combo. Yeah.
You can't go wrong with a chocolate cake unless you Geraint. You're diabetic.
Yeah.
Hang on. Every time when we were on holiday, how many times did you have the opportunity of chocolate cake and went for carrot cake instead?
Oh, it's always carrot cake, mate. Always.
And then went back for a second piece of chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Truth be told.
But funny story about G and his diabetes. You don't mind us telling the story, G, do you? So
go on.
Was it our last day in Orlando when we went for the playoff trip? And we went to
Universal.
We went to Voodoo Donuts at Universal. And I couldn't believe when Geraint's asked the bloke, do you do any sugar-free donuts? I just had to roll over and laugh.
You said it was a good idea.
It says a good idea. But yeah, in America, asking for a sugar-free donut is not going to happen.
Yeah, that's not
anything diet is an alien concept, let's be fair.
Very true. That's true.
Yeah.
So Dan, how did you become a Magic fan? How long have you been following following the blue and white?
Since way back in '93. So first time I ever went to Florida, I was 12 at the time, and saw quite a lot of Magic gear and stuff around the area. Obviously, that was obviously back at the Shaq and Penny sort of draft stage, and just sort of like got interested in it straight away. Came back after that, and then found out that there was a local team in the local league, the National League, next about 5 minutes down the road from me. Started going to that, and then just got the itch for basketball. Got a hoop in the back garden, played at school, and then went back in '95 to Florida, to Orlando. And obviously, the time we went as well, absolutely spot on. It was early May, I think. So we watched the Indiana series when that went to 7 games, and we were there for the first 2 games of the finals as well, which was great, but obviously not so great in the results. But
yeah, did you go to the finals games as well?
No, we tried. We drove to the arena and everything. We were outside. Just the price for some of the tickets they were asking for was absolutely ridiculous for the guys outside. But yeah, they were gold dust back then. So we tried.
What do you remember about that Indiana series then being in the old Orlando arena?
Yeah, that was great. I mean, the end of that series was awesome. Everywhere we went as well, we watched it in a hotel, like in a bar somewhere, and there was always Indiana fans sat in front of the TV in Orlando. But they just, with the kits on and everything, couldn't believe it. But we won, obviously, I think 6 and 7, or we won 7 for sure. But I think we might have lost 6. But
we lost 6.
Yeah, we did, and we blew them out in Game 7.
Yeah,
and then again, the finals, when we got there, every bar we went to, there was Houston fans everywhere. That didn't go down too well for those first 2 games, but
nothing's changed all these years later. Then really, that's it.
No, it's kind of like
we've always been outnumbered.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, exactly.
Cool. Well, we've got some more questions to throw at you a little bit later. We'll do a quick roundup of the last week's games. We've had a good week to talk about. We're all happy. So
positive.
Yeah, well, you think the last few weeks we've been like, nah, losing week, and we were all wrong last week. So there we go. So the Magic finished a 4-game West Coast road trip by playing the Phoenix Suns. We've been undermanned for what feels like a couple of months now, and the Magic only had 8 available players in Phoenix, and we even saw Vooch and Bamba playing minutes together at one point, which never happens. But in a nutshell, the Magic struggled scoring. They really didn't have an answer for Devin Booker. Magic dropped that one 109 to 90. They had 2 days off before they flew home back to play the New York Knicks at the Amway Center. Evan Fournier returned. We had all 11 players available, all featured in that one, which included Chasen Randall, who was signed as a replacement for Frank Mason Jr., who, surprise, surprise, had an injury. He's on a 2-way contract. But the story about that one was Terrence Ross, the Human Torch, lit the Knicks for 30 points, and the Magic went on to win 107 to 89. Paul, what did you think about the Knicks game? They needed a win.
Right. I think I called it the review on the website, Tenacious D and shooting the 3. That was the game that we played. It was fantastic to see. We got contributions across all 11 players, some more than others, obviously. Look, I think the game, the Magic play was actually summed up in that it was typified by that final minute of the game. We got a Ross 3, Terrence Ross 3. Michael Carter-Williams drove to the basket and muscled it home. And then very last play of the game, we get a block from Kem. The game was summed up in 3 plays in that final minute. Great hustle, good shooting, good strength. As you say, T. Ross absolutely lit the game up. The other thing for me on the night, 27 assists is really good. We moved the ball so well, and something that we don't necessarily normally get. We got a lot of points off of the other team's turnovers. We got 29 points off of Knicks turnovers. The defense in the second half, holding the Knicks to 33 points in the second half, stunning, and forcing them to go 15 field goal attempts without scoring. That's some effort. Yeah, it was great. Loved it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It was nice to watch a really good performance for a change.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then we then faced the Warriors. Again, Clifford had 11 players available. Gary Clark, who started, I think, 8 games in a row, didn't even feature in that one, and was left on the bench. The Magic come out firing and built a double-digit lead before the Warriors torched us in the third quarter. We had some comments from Garrett, who wasn't happy with the refereeing. Surprise, surprise.
Just for a change, eh?
It wasn't, but there we go. But the Magic were down by, I think, as many as 13 before really it was all about the fourth quarter. Vooch finished off with his third career triple-double, first center in Magic history to do that. And really, it was Chuma Okeke's fourth quarter, wasn't it? He had a pair of clutch 3-point shots, some terrific defense. It was just, and we saw the same last night against the Detroit as well. But he had 3 blocks in the game. He was rebounding the ball. He was just being an absolute pest defensively. And you can start to see those little clips of what he can potentially do. So, Dan, what did you think about the Warriors game? It was a good game to watch.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's sort of pleasing on the eye, that one. It's a real nice game to watch, but that usually goes hand in hand with Golden State as well. They're quite an attractive team to watch.
Yeah.
But we matched them all the way. I mean, the energy from the start for me was impressive, because we looked like we had a point to prove from the loss we took up in their place, a week or so before. And that's nice to see, because it's like the guys have, they took that personally, come out, really took it to them. And obviously that, when the Warriors came back in the third, and we were down, we just didn't drop our heads, kept fighting hard. And obviously Chuma, it's a great, response from a rookie to pull that out in the fourth quarter. And obviously Vooch was just immense. I mean, that's a huge triple double. You can't complain with that at all. So yeah, really pleased. And I think we hit 18 threes as a team on 42% shooting. So you take that any game, really, if we can, shoot like that. Absolutely. Evan again was huge as well, 28. I thought we hit some really big shots, tough shots as well. So really pleasing performance for me.
Yeah, it's been important getting Evan back, definitely. So just to finish off this week, we all watched this morning the Pistons game from last night. The only 2 noticeable players that we didn't have available was Cole Anthony and Aaron Gordon. The Magic got their noses in front early. They got themselves a double-digit lead in the second quarter. Detroit, to be fair to them, never really gave up. They were playing hard. We were good defensively, but it felt like we were always keeping them at arm's length, and every sort of little run that they made, we responded with one of our own. Really, as a top-heavy scoring, Vooch had 37, Fournier had 29, Ross 17. They were the main scorers in that one to win our third straight. So the Magic won 105-96. G, what did you think to the Pistons game, buddy?
Yeah, well, that was probably the third best performance of the week against the least of our opponents. So to get that, you've made a couple of points already. We controlled the game. They made runs. We'd get a big bucket from Fournier or Ross just to keep them at arm's length. You picked up on some of the stats as well, but interestingly, in terms of minutes, you've got Vucevic, Fournier, and Ross, who played over 30. The next 2, Michael Carter-Williams, who's obviously a starter, and Chuma Okeke. So people are talking about bringing Chuma along, making him, maybe he starts, but he's getting the playing time off the bench, and he's, contributing, as you've mentioned. But Michael Carter-Williams has really been a revelation coming back into the starting lineup, especially was it the last 4 or 5 games, whatever it is. He just brings that leadership, that tenacity on defense, that ability to put the ball on the floor, drive at the defenders, and it's making the defense collapse, and it's given Vucevic, Ross, Fournier opportunities of better percentage shots. So no, it was a very good performance. Get the W. That's the one we thought we'd win. So yeah, let's do it again tomorrow night now.
Yeah, absolutely. So after last week, the Magic are now won 4 out of the last 5 games, 3 straight, with 13 and 18 in the Eastern Conference. Sorry, we're 13 and 18 and we're 12th in the Eastern Conference. We are 3 games back of Indiana and Toronto, who are 4th and 5th. 2 games back of the Knicks, who are in 7th. So they're in that first play-in spot. We're 6 games better than Minnesota, who've got the worst record in the league. So for those who want us to tank, they're 7 and 24, and you're not going to catch them even if you wanted to. The only 2 players that are really noticeable injuries, Cole Anthony's obviously got that displaced, he's got a rib fracture, and Aaron Gordon's obviously got his high ankle sprain. They're both out until the All-Star break. So if we can stay healthy until then, and get those guys back, I don't see why we can't keep this going. Guys, how are we feeling about the team now? Obviously won 3 straight. We're 2 games back as 7th. I think we're right in the playoff race. I don't see why we're not. And how do we think it's all going to go? I don't think any of us want us to tank, but do you think the Magic are going to play it out? Do you think we're going to upgrade at the deadline? Stand pat? Dan, what do you think, mate?
Yeah, I think, the team's fighting for sure. They're not giving up, in any way. And the last week or so, I think you can see Vooch, Evan and Ross. Those 3 are producing every game. And then you're getting contributions from someone else, almost different one every game, and it seems to be working for us. So, yeah, I think Clifford's doing a great job as well. I think he's done it, the team are playing for him. No one's given up on him at all. So they're all buying in. And I think if we can just keep healthy, that's the main thing. There's no reason why we can't keep this run going. But I don't think we should rock the boat too much come the deadline, to be honest. I think if we can get Aaron back and obviously Carl after the All-Star break, then there's no reason why we can't make a run, in my eyes.
There's an argument that if we were healthy with Isaac Fultz and everybody available, we'd be a top 4 team, top 6. I think top 6. I don't think much higher than that. What do you think? Do you agree?
Yeah, I was going to say. I was just going to say, if you look at the 4th place team at the moment, I think they're just 1 game over 500. So you can't tell me if we were fully healthy, we wouldn't be at that record or better. I think, to be honest. So there's a chance. Yeah, you could be. I think around that 4th seed, to be honest. But yeah, it's not meant to be for us, obviously, this year.
How do you see it playing out, Paul?
Well, obviously, Mikey, I'm never going to say that we should be tanking. I don't watch sports to watch my team lose. I can see the argument behind it, but it's not something I'm wanting us to do. As far as where we are, I was very high on the team anyway. I think injury-free, we had a very, very good chance of being a high seed. Where we are now, I'm happy at the spirit that we've shown. I'm happy at the effort that we've shown. We're coming through the injury crisis. We've kept relatively close to a lot of teams that are higher placed than us in the Eastern Conference. Granted, it's a weaker conference, but we are right in the mix and we get a few results together. The second half of the season hopefully is kind to us in the schedule, and I think we're still right in there. I'm more than happy.
And the thing is, we've got 5 games until the All-Star break. Looking at them, we're obviously going to talk about them coming up, but we've got Utah, Pistons again. We've got the Nets, Hawks, and Dallas. To me, there's 3 or 4 of those games that are winnable games up until the All-Star break. You only need to be a couple of games back of 500. We don't know what the second half of the schedule is going to look like, but if we're healthy, why can't we keep it going? G, what do you think, mate?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what the guys said, to be honest with you. Keep it going, try to stay injury free. But just to pick up on, some other points, with the trade deadline coming up, we're going to have, we've of course had Al-Farouq Aminu who's come back. We spoke about this morning, Mikey. His defense has been sublime and something we've really missed out on. And you kind of forget what kind of player he is and what he brings to the table. If you just find his shooting stroke, then he'll fill that 4 power forward slot. So does that make Ken Birch expendable? could you give Bamba a bit more burn when it comes to, games coming up? And with that, then you might get some value for Birch in, with the trade deadline coming up. So it's something, hopefully the front office will explore. But other than that, the team performance, no, keep what you're doing. Let's get some more healthy bodies back, get Cole Anthony back. I would probably bring him off the bench, start Michael Carter-Williams. It's going well with him at the moment, and get a bit more offense off the bench. But no, all in all, happy with the way it's going.
Well, Bamba didn't play last night, did he? And he only played 9 minutes, I think, against the Warriors. And in that 9 minutes, he was fouling. I think he had 4 fouls in the first half, and he just looked completely out of sync. So it's all right saying Bamba needs minutes, but like Chuma, you need to prove that you got to say to Clifford, take me off the floor. I'm playing well. Like you can't keep gifting minutes to players. I'm going to go back to this. This is why I don't believe in tanking so much, or giving young players just say, here's your minutes and off you go. 2014, we drafted Elfrid Payton. We let go of Jameer. Now, to me, you guys can correct me if you think I'm wrong. I think Elfrid would have developed a lot better had we kept Jameer, somebody who helped take us to the playoffs for several years, played in the finals. He knew what it took to win games. If you had him in his ear and he had to earn minutes off of a vet, I think he would have been not a completely different player, but I think he'd be a lot better than where he is now. And that's my issue with saying, oh, let's just give Bamba the backup minutes. Well, no, if you can't outplay Ken Birch, then you don't deserve those minutes. I don't care if you're the 5th pick, 6th pick, or wherever you come from. You've got to earn those minutes. And I think that's what Clifford is all about. It's all about keeping players accountable. You guys agree?
I think when you look last night at their young lad, Lee, he's come on and took his opportunities. He's normally a 3rd choice. But he came on and said to the coach, this is what I can do. He had a good little game. And I think if you are the 3rd choice or any backup player, this was my argument with Melvin Fraser Jr. If you are, I don't care what stage of the game you come on at, if it's only for 2 minutes, if it's for 7 minutes, those minutes you've got the opportunity to show the coach what you can do. You've got the opportunity to show the fans what you can do. And you have to take those minutes, even if they are the gash minutes, and play your heart out. I'm not 100% convinced about Mo Bamba. I think he's got a huge potential, but I'm not convinced that he always wants to put that effort in. I could well be wrong. I may be selling him down, but I'm not yet convinced. And I think you look at some of the games he's had, and he really does play well. And you look and think, you've got some right potential. You are a good player. And then he follows it up with the game that he had against Golden State, where it was foul after foul, it was turnover, and it wasn't the same player as he was against New York. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see.
If you live in the UK, make sure you never miss another NBA game again or a Magic game. You can watch the entire 2021 season by clicking. We've got the link in the description of our podcast, or if you go onto our Twitter account, Instagram, Facebook, the website, we've got all the links for our NBA League Pass UK affiliation there. Okay, cool. Let's move on to Dan. Let's find out a bit more about you being a Magic fan then.
Sure.
Off you go, G.
All right. Okay. So how many, you've obviously attended games. Which games have you attended, and what were the experiences like?
Yeah. So my first game in Orlando would have been 2004, actually, against the Wizards when T-Mac scored 62.
Oh,
amazing.
What a game.
So yeah, that was unbelievable for my first game. I couldn't believe it. Obviously, we were a pretty poor team at the time. The record wasn't great. I think we were obviously out of the playoffs nearly by then anyway. But
I think that's the season we started 119.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were awful.
Yeah.
We weren't good.
Yeah.
So I wasn't expecting much other than, to see T-Mac play was going to be great. And then to see that performance was just something else. I mean, in person, when you see someone who's on it like that, it's just, something to see. It's just breathtaking, really. But I remember he was so on fire at one point. He scored about 10 straight, and he stole the ball. He didn't even get to half court, and they literally grabbed him around the waist to pull him, and he just chucked it and he banked it in. It was just didn't count, but it was just like ridiculous. So that was my first game, and it was on the same trip. We went down to Miami actually, and we went there about 3 days later, and we saw them play the Heat in Miami Arena. That was Dwayne Wade's rookie season, I think. So he was coming off the bench, so that was quite cool to see him play as well. And then back up in Orlando to play Seattle when they had Ray Allen and Rashard Lewis a couple of days later. So got 3 good games in there. And then the London game, obviously, which we all attended, which was a great experience. Yeah.
Kind of.
One of us didn't.
You had another experience, Paul, didn't you?
Yeah, it was pretty cool, I've got to say. I got to hang out at the hotel instead with the team.
Yeah.
One of my friends. So yeah, it was pretty cool. And we've told the story before of my being on the train coming back from London, as I got a phone call from my friend who works for the Magic and saying, are you still in London? Because Alex Martins has got a ticket for you if you're available. No.
I'm halfway
just
home.
passing Peterborough.
Gutted.
Yeah. Second question then, Dan, what's your favourite Magic jersey of all time, bearing in mind you've been a fan throughout all of the jerseys that we've released?
Yeah, it'll be the black pinstripe one you got hanging up behind, the Nick Anderson.
Yeah?
That's my favourite, the old school.
Original road jersey.
Yeah, I think so. That's my favourite of all.
Cool. I think Mikey's just bought that, haven't you, Mike?
I have got a T-Mac one for 30. I think I paid 38 quid off of eBay. So
did you?
Yeah, happy days. Can't go wrong with buying T-Mac jerseys. Absolutely.
No, absolutely, exactly.
So I guess that comment, Mike, is going to lead me into my question then.
Ooh.
Of Ben, favourite all-time and current player.
Yeah, so my favourite all-time player would be Penny Hardaway. Again, when I first started watching the Magic, he was just unbelievable. He was such a good player. Just he had that sort of it factor, with the little penny and all the stuff that sort of came at that time as well. But yeah, he was just awesome. Just a shame that he got injured sort of early in his career, and it sort of zapped him really a little bit. And obviously, it fell apart when he got traded. But yeah, he was my favourite Magic player. Just a joy to watch. And current player, yeah, I've kind of not really just. I don't think I've got one that stands out for me, but probably Vooch and Fultz. I really enjoy watching. They're my 2 favourite. Vooch he's got a bit of everything because he gives you that old school game as well, back to the basket, but then he can step out and be like the modern centre and hit the threes. So he's got a bit of everything, but he's just getting better and better, I think. So and Fultz again, before he got injured, I thought he was up for a big season and he was going to really take us places, but we'll see what happens next season, hopefully.
Yeah, Fultz was getting really exciting to watch. I've got to agree with you there. And then, mate, in your time as a Magic fan, most underrated Magic player?
Underrated, yeah, good one. Underrated. I think going back to like the Dwight, the years when we went to the finals, there was a couple of guys like Michael Pietrus. I thought he was pretty underrated on that team. He did such a good. He was sort of he was the glue guy that did. Great defensive player, hit some big threes. I can't say Turkler as well, but he wasn't. I guess he wasn't massively underrated. But he was another. I thought he was a big time player for us back in that team and during that run. So yeah, probably those two sort of come out stick out in my mind. Probably Rafer Alston as well. Okay. He sort of come in that year and just to be fair, we wouldn't have got to the finals without him. He really carried that team. I thought from the point guard position that season.
I think
that's a really good question, Paul.
Yeah, mate. I think it is possible. You look at, saying you look at saying something like Beatrice or whatever, and you can have, or Turkoglu, and you can have well-respected players who are still underrated for what they actually bring to a team.
Yeah.
I think that makes perfect sense. Yeah, cool.
You mean like Vooch? Because everyone he's underrated with everybody, isn't he?
Yeah, there is a very, very good argument that Vooch is underrated for us.
In the national media, he's just they don't ever mention him. It's ridiculous.
Gee, tell us that story you said to me about listening to one of the other UK pods earlier.
I was listening to Met the Criteria, and they were just talking through the Eastern Conference AllStars, who they'd have in, and they're all talking about Zach LaVine. So they're going onto the bench and everything, and they mention, the two Miami Heat guys, they've had a bad season. Bamba Adebayo, should he be in, whatever. Not once did they mention Nikola Vucevic. So I tweeted them and I said, so what happened to that one full page of Vucevic stats then? Because you didn't mention him at all. Oh, sorry, we missed him out. We just get no coverage, do we?
Let them know, G.
National games. Oh yeah, I will.
I know you will.
Didn't he come up with something along the lines of the team record made it that they missed the cut?
But the Heat are like 0.5 games ahead of us, or something like that.
Yeah, they're on a team that's got a comparable, if not worse, record at points.
And you've got Bradley Beal, who's starting on the All-Star game, who's on the Washington Wizards, which says it all.
Crazy.
Yeah. Although you look at their current form, don't sleep on them. They are running. They are forming.
Yeah.
They are getting good again now.
Yeah, we were good to play them early.
Yeah, get them out of the way. Like you said.
So Dan, I know. Sorry, Paul, go on.
I was just going to say, we got to play them before they got to have that understanding. Perfect time
before they figured it out a little bit.
Yeah.
So Dan, I know you got 3 girls. Well, you got wife and 3 girls, haven't you?
I have.
Your youngest is now what, 6-7 months? So how
8 months.
8 months, sorry.
Yeah.
So how hard is it watching Magic games at the moment?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I don't get to stay up and watch many live games, that's for sure. So it's finding usually on my phone or my laptop in the corner of a room somewhere when I can grab half an hour. Then that's pretty much a quiet half an hour anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not easy, especially in lockdown when it's trying to homeschool and you're trying to keep them active and whatever. And yeah, it's been a bit of a nightmare. But box scores and condensed highlights are the one a lot of the time.
That's what you got to do. What you got to do.
Yeah, that's right.
Homeschooling, you'll have to use the opportunity of, if he scores this 3-pointer, how will that what will that add to the score? Add 3 to 72.
Exactly.
Use it, mate.
Yeah.
I
just pause the game and then I can throw in a math question as we're going. It's not a bad.
That's
shout.
Sports and PE. That's PE and maths, isn't it?
There you go.
That's it. Exactly.
Oh dear.
I've got 2 weeks left of it, so I'll try that. This week. Yeah, good shout.
Good stuff. Cool. So we'll move on and we'll have a look at this week's games before we finish off the episode. So our next show, we've got 2 episodes this week. So we're recording again on Sunday evening. And then hopefully by Sunday we'll have the next set or the second half of the season schedule. So we're gonna have a look at our plan for going forwards with podcast episodes. So between now and Sunday, the Magic have got 3 games. We've got the Pistons again on Tuesday night at midnight. We've got the Nets on Thursday at 12:30 a.m. And then we've got the Jazz on Saturday at 1 a.m. So Detroit, what do you think about game 2 then, G, in the rematch? Sorry, Paul.
Hang on.
I thought
I was going to say.
Otherwise, I've done research on the wrong game, and I'm going to look a right idiot.
No.
I know I can do that on my own normally, but hey,
it's cool.
Pistons, mate, 8-22 on the season, 15th in the East. Only the T-Wolves have got a worse record. 24th on offence, 19th on defence. 2-16 record on the road, on a 3-game losing streak. We saw them last night. We know what they're about. You've got to expect that Grant is the danger man again. We know that they play at a slow pace. I think we can exploit that again. We've won 7 of the last 8 games in the Amway. In fact, the only game that we didn't win was the one I was at. Sod's law. Injury-wise, Delon Wright is doubtful again. Jahila Kafour is out after knee surgery. Killian Hayes is out with a hip injury, and Blake Griffin's sitting out. So I think we're in the same position as before. We can take them.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we got a tougher game on Thursday against the bandwagon Nets. So I've got to put that in there. Yeah, let's all jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
We're gonna. What player are they signing? What player are they going to sign this week? Is DeMarcus Cousins, isn't it?
Apparently, yeah.
Apparently,
Yeah.
It'll be Michael Jordan next week.
Yeah.
So they are 20-12 in the East, second in the Eastern Conference. I think they're just half a game behind Philadelphia for top spot. They are coming off a 112-108 win last night against the Clippers. They've now won 6 straight, and they are 11-5 at the Barclays Center. Injuries for them: Spencer Dinwiddie's out for the season with an ACL tear, something we all know about. Iman Shumpert's also out. He was out on Sunday against the Clippers, so who knows whether he'll be back for Thursday. Kevin Durant at the moment has got no timetable on his return, who's out with a hamstring injury. And then they got 3 players who were listed day to day, which is Tyler Johnson, Jeff Green, and here's one for Paul, Timothy Luwawu Cabarro. So I was almost going to give you the Nets. I was going to give you the Nets just to say that one.
No, I'm all right with that name.
You can just say TLC, Mikey.
I can, but I just wanted to show off. They are first in points per game with 121. They're 26th in defensive rating at 114. The Nets have won 2 straight, but the Magic have won 3 out of 4 last season. 2 of those games were in the bubble, which both teams won a game each. The Magic lead the all-time record 66-52. And then that leaves us with the Jazz on Saturday.
Yeah, so we face the 24-6 Utah Jazz, who will be 11-4. Well, they're currently 11-4 on the road. First in the West and in the league by 2.5 games of that team that wear yellow in Los Angeles. They have one injury concern. Elijah Hughes is a game time decision with an ankle problem. They currently rank 4th in offense at 115.5 points per game. 3rd in defense, allowing 106.3. And the Jazz have won the last 3, with the last Magic win coming in December the 15th, 2018, with a 96-89 win.
Good man. So predictions this week. So last week, none of us got it right. I text Paul, didn't I, before yesterday's game and said, do you want us to lose tonight so you can get your prediction right?
We're not going to give my answer, are we?
No, absolutely not. Me and G went 1-3. Paul went 2-2, so we were all wrong. The Magic went 1-3. Dan, let's go to you then first, mate. So we've got the Pistons again. We've got the Nets, and we've got the Jazz.
Yeah, for me, I think we can get the Pistons again. I don't like our chances against the Nets, to be fair, away. Jazz will be tough, but I'm going to go 1-2. I think we get 1 out of those 3.
Paul?
Yeah, mate, I suppose first of all we'll have a say well done to Kyle, because he was the only one who actually predicted last week that we would have a winning week. Granted, he went 4-0, which was hell of a shout to get with Phoenix being one of the teams we were playing. But I love the confidence. But he was closest out of us. He was the only one who went for a winning week. For me, mate, I'm also going 1-2. We beat Detroit. I think we've got a reasonable chance against the Nets with the injury issues that they have. The Jazz, I just see them having too much for us. And there's a couple of players on there that always seem to have really, really good games against us. So, yeah, I'm 1-2.
Right. Head says 1-2. Heart says 2-1. So I'm going to go with my heart.
Attaboy.
Yeah. Beat the Detroit Pistons. Keep them at arm's length like we did last night. Beat the Brooklyn Nets and their bandwagon fans. I think Utah might have a little bit too much for us in terms of depth. Looking at their roster, they're very, very deep. So, 2-1.
I'm also going to go 2-1, but I'm going to be controversial and say we beat the Jazz. There we go. That
Who's the other team that we're beating?
Pistons. We're going to lose in Brooklyn. Yeah. That's just, I never get these right, so I may as well come out with something a bit controversial, right now.
Go for 3-0 then, man.
Well, if we had, look, this is all counting on whether we don't get any more of those, what we've already had a lot of to start the season. I'm not even going to say the word to jinx it. But if we're healthy, I'm going to go 2-1. Why can't we beat the Jazz, eh? If Vooch is going to keep putting up 30, 40 a night. There we go. Cool. We've got time for a bit of trivia. It's not magic trivia, but it's short and sweet. This is kind of in your face to all those people that want to get on the tank wagon. In the last 6 years, there's been 15 players that have made the All-Star team that have been drafted that have made the All-Star team in the last 6 years. Can you name those 15 players?
Luka.
So starting from the 2014 draft up until last season.
Luka.
Yep.
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah. Go on, Dan.
How many did you say there were?
There's
been
15.
15 of them since 2000. Was Oladipo before that, or was he in?
Oladipo was 2013.
Oh, he was just before, wasn't he? Off the top of my head. Hang on a second. Let me think.
Give you a clue. One of them plays for the Celtics.
Oh, Jason Tatum.
Yep, there you go. Who went there? Who went first? Paul?
Yeah. I've actually forgot the geezer's name. D'Angelo Russell.
D'Angelo Russell's one of them. Yeah. G.
That's who I was after.
Joel Embiid.
Yeah. Dan?
Trae Young. Did he make it?
Trae Young made it.
Yeah.
How many? We're missing one.
No, keep going. You've got a few more left.
Devin Booker.
Oh, right.
Devin Booker. Yep.
Oh, man.
Joker in Denver.
There you go. There's another one.
Yeah.
Mate. Yep. 2014 draft.
Digging deep now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One plays for Utah. I'm just going to say the teams just to speed it up.
Oh, Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert and
Was he been drafted that long?
sorry, no, it wasn't.
It wasn't him.
No, sorry. The other one that plays in Utah. Gobert was further on.
So you said Mitchell.
You said Mitchell. Sorry, I'm getting this completely wrong. Miami.
Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, Bam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Philly. The other Philly player.
Oh, Ben
Simmons.
Simmons.
Yeah.
Pelicans.
Ingram.
Ingram.
Ingram. Yeah.
Yeah.
Indiana.
Sabonis.
Nobody.
Sabonis. Yeah.
The Raptors.
Did you say a nobody, G?
No. Siakam.
And we've had Embiid, haven't we?
Yeah.
There's one you're missing. Place at Dallas.
Porzingis.
Porzingis, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's 15. So on average, in the last 6 years, there's only been 2 or 3 All-Stars from each draft. And some of them have, and they've gone as low as 13, 14, 11, 27, 13, and 41. So people that want to say you need a tank for one of these top picks, that might work every other year, but there's no guarantee that you are getting a future All-Star by picking in the top 3 every year. It's all about, for me, it's about drafting the right player, not what position you necessarily get. All agree?
Agreed.
There we go.
I agree.
Cool. Done. Dan, thanks very much for coming on, mate.
No problem at all.
Hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. I just want to say as well, thanks to you guys. I think someone wrote it on the chat in the week, but thanks to you guys for setting this whole community up, because it wasn't easy to find people to talk to about the Magic before, and debate and everything like that. So it's been enjoyable for you guys to set this up and get this community together. So thank you.
We appreciate that.
And like you say, Dan, it is debate, because we don't all have the same opinions.
Exactly.
And the nice thing is that you when we do talk about it on the Twitter group and stuff like that we've got, there's none of this childish name calling and I don't agree with you, so I'm going to block you now.
Or unfollowing like I got the other day.
Yeah, go up. Go up, get on with it.
That's it.
It's all opinion, it's not actually fact, it's opinion.
Yeah, nothing wrong with healthy debate, is there at all?
Exactly, pal. Exactly.
But yeah, hopefully when lockdown's over, we are eventually going to have some Magic watch parties in the UK and hopefully some more trips over to Orlando, getting a few of us to get together. So yeah, hopefully we'll keep this going.
Celtics as well.
Pardon?
Haven't we still got to play the Celtics as well?
Oh yes. We don't like Boston, do we? We don't like a lot of them.
No, you got the game organised, hadn't you, mate? Before we were supposed to be taking on the UK Celtic side of things.
Yeah. We'll get back on track once we're allowed to
get training.
Get out of the house.
Yeah.
Get training done.
Once you see me shot, you'll be wanting to trade me.
You haven't seen G's.
I'll be the Gary Clark of the team. I'll be getting as many minutes, and when I do come on, Brick City.
Oh dear.
Look
Cool.
forward to it.
If you haven't already checked out our website, orlandomagicuk.com, as always, we've got all our regular game reviews, previews that Paul does. There's the odd articles where we go a bit deeper with our opinions on the Magic and what's going on. We've got our affiliate links on there, Magic Moments, which Geraint puts up every day or every game day. We've got the leader table on there with all of that sort of stuff as well. Make sure you following Orlando Magic UK on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and obviously subscribe to our YouTube channel and the podcast. Guys, thanks very much. Thank you again for coming on. And we'll do this again on Sunday. Go Magic.
Go Magic. Thanks, Dan.
Cheers, guys.